Get ready for our most ambitious journey on the Two Dudes Philosophy channel as of yet. Today, we're delving into the enigmatic world of Martin Heidegger's philosophy. We will try to explain the question that at stake in his philosophy, the question of being. Heidegger is notorious for being incredibly difficult to grasp, let alone understand. If Socrates is the Muhammad Ali of philosophy, reading Heidegger would be the equivalent of stepping in the ring with Mike Tyson. And I'm not exaggerating. It's so bad that Heidegger often gets the rep of being so hard to understand that one could consider his philosophy pure gibberish. But in this video, I want to show you why his philosophy is relevant, and actually pretty interesting. Oh yeah, before I forget, most of this video will be based on his seminal work Being and Time. Get ready to learn why Heidegger emphasized the question of being, why his concept of Dasein revolutionized existential philosophy, and what makes Being and Time a revolutionary work in the history of philosophy. So without further ado, let's get started. Heidegger's Being and Time is considered to be one of the, if not the most important works of philosophy. Heidegger's philosophy is part of his school of thought called Existential-Phenomenology. The existential part meaning the philosophy that tries to grasp our existence, or rather, the why we exist and the fundamental freedom we have as human beings. And the phenomenology part, meaning the philosophy that studies the phenomena that we experience from a first-person point of view, our senses. In Being and Time, the question that at stake is to explain the concept of being, as the title of the book is quite a spoiler. But what does that mean? Well, according to Heidegger, most of the history of philosophy has been an attempt at explaining being, but it got lost and sidetracked somewhere along the way. And the philosopher René Descartes is the one to blame. Descartes' now infamous quote, "Cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am, proposes an undoubtable claim as to why we exist, stripped down to its most basic element. Something we can, according to Descartes, all agree on because it is simply irrefutable in a rational sense. But for Heidegger, there is a big flaw in this rational and logical reasoning. To be able to think means that you must first be, and to be, you must exist. Therefore, Descartes' reasoning misses an essential part. I exist, therefore I think, therefore I am, would be a better reasoning. According to Heidegger, Descartes' split between subject and object is fundamentally a wrong way to approach the question of being, and other philosophers are to blame as well. For this reason, Heidegger literally invents a new concept. This is what he calls Dasein. Now, Dasein is not an easy concept to explain. An easy way to explain it is to imagine experiencing existence itself before any thought or concept arises. This is the essence of what Martin Heidegger explores. Heidegger felt that previous philosophers hadn't quite grasped this fundamental human experience. To convey this, he coined new terms like Dasein, aiming to break free from the limitations of past philosophical ideas. Heidegger's concept of being in the world is also pivotal here. He rejects the traditional separation of person and world, seeing them as intimately connected. For Heidegger, being is not something separate from the world. It's being hyphenated with the world. In Being and Time, he emphasizes that our existence is inseparable from the world around us. They are intertwined and essential to each other. Heidegger challenges the Enlightenment notion of the autonomous individual navigating an external reality. He saw this as flawed, missing a crucial aspect of human existence. He writes to address these flaws, pointing out the shortcomings of Enlightenment-era philosophy and its analytical tools. Heidegger saw the ontology of the Enlightenment era as deeply flawed from the outset. Ontology, which is the philosophical study of the nature of being, typically deals with questions about what exists and what can exist. However, Heidegger believed that while people had long been concerned with what existed, they hadn't fundamentally grappled with what existence itself was. This forms the backdrop and rationale for Martin Heidegger's philosophy. One might cynically ask, why bother with the question of existence in the early 1900s? After all, at this point in history, humanity had experienced the scientific revolution, developed robust political systems, and advanced material life. But for Heidegger, the answer lies in the fact that being underpins everything. Being is the foundation upon which every aspect of our lives rests, preceding every concept in every field of study, from mathematics to science and beyond. And when it comes to being, there are various realms to explore. We understand entities as things, people, animals, and concepts, but fundamentally, we must understand what it means to be human. Heidegger observed a distinct human phenomenon in how we interact with knowledge. When we discover a concept or truth, the connections to other truths often become blurred. For instance, when reading a text, the surrounding text blurs into the background. This blurring manifests physically in our lives as well. Take the example of hammering a nail into a board, which is an infamous example used by Heidegger. The hammer almost disappears from our consciousness as we focus on the task. Heidegger terms this phenomenon ready to hand. We only notice tools or concepts when they fail or break, which he calls present at hand. The significance of these terms lies in Heidegger's assertion that the world is to be discovered, not given to us. Many consider a great philosopher or teacher someone who can articulate what we already know deep down, but haven't consciously formulated. However, the conceptual importance of ready to hand is often overlooked. Enlightenment-era philosophers treated existence as ready to hand, never truly delving into what being truly was. And this phenomenon isn't limited to philosophers only. It's deeply human. Heidegger observed that we often go about our lives robotically blurring everything out. We accept predefined roles from society, family, and peer groups without truly questioning them. Heidegger observes our inclination to dwell in what he terms everydayness, a state that often delineates between the inauthentic and authentic human experiences. The former entails a sense of self and life's trajectory primarily shaped by external influences, societal norms, traditions, and expectations, resulting in what Heidegger labels vervallen, or fallenness. In contrast, authenticity beckons us to transcend this mundane existence. According to Heidegger, this transcendence is possible through Befindlichkeit, roughly translated as our mode of being, or how we find ourselves situated in the world. From the moment of birth, an event thrust upon us without consent, we are thrown into existence. Here, Heidegger's existentialism intersects with the philosophies of Jean-Paul Sartre and Søren Kierkegaard. Heidegger dubs this mode of understanding Verstehen, or understanding, which points towards the infinite array of possibilities inherent in our finite lifespan. On one end of this spectrum lies being in the world, symbolizing the finite aspects of life, while on the opposite end lies das Nichts, or nothingness, a symbol often associated with death, representing complete void and the journey's end.
Whoa, hold your horses there. Those were a lot of difficult concepts, right? Trying to grasp Heidegger can indeed feel like a boxing match with Mike Tyson. Luckily, I'm not Jake Paul. Even we need a break from Heidegger. However, we hope to have sparked your curiosity. Want to see the next part of this video? If this video hits 1,000 views, we'll upload the second part. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more content. We're working hard behind the scenes at the Two Dudes Philosophy Studio, so stay tuned for more.